Okay, I just started recording, so we should be kind of whatever, winging it, per usual.
Yeah.
Jordan, Kate, welcome back. I didn't even ask your name because I figured I'd just do it right here.
Jalen.
Jalen?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So, this is a follow-up episode to the Styles for Myles jam when we talked about, before the jam happened. So I know you guys wanted to come on again, talk about how things went and kind of how you see things going in the future, what you're doing still, all that type of stuff. So I guess right after we stopped recording the last episode, we walked the park.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
And kind of came up with some stuff down at Rockies that could be done to improve the park short term and then long term stuff as well. So I don't know if you want to talk about that, what you guys started doing, what you did before the jam.
Okay, yeah, I'd like to start by Jalen's Myles' sister, by the way, so everybody knows that she's Bubba's big sister. And I'd like to start by saying before the jam we started assisting the park and looking for screws and everything like that, making sure everything was buttoned down before the jam started. And we fixed the internals in the top of the box. There was two 2x6s that were broken in the top, and we flipped them all over so everything had a solid foundation for the new 3/4 inch plywood on top. We plan on working one ramp at a time and trying to up-face the park, bring it back so it looks really good for the future kids and everything like that.
Talking about broken 2x6s and plywood, is there anything going on, like, is anyone supporting that from a local standpoint that's helping with that, or do you guys have to front that money on your own to do that?
Aries Building Supply, there was a gentleman that actually donated money to get us the material this first time.
Awesome.
The only thing that we really funded for that was I bought a 12-foot 2x10 for the top of the spine, just because it needed to be replaced, so everybody had a good solid foundation to do what they wanted to do on the top of the spine and everything like that. Made it look good, and for the future we're going to try to get some gator light and everything like that to reface parks, and
there will be a donation I'll be making right to Rocky's Bicycle Shop. I'm trying to do that.
Okay.
Like right before Thanksgiving, so this week.
Okay.
I'll be
awesome.
Taking that down from what we've raised.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cool.
Mm-hmm. He doesn't know it yet.
yeah, right.
Well, this won't come out for a week or two anyway,
Right,
and
right.
I don't think Rocky probably listens to the GrindWorks podcast.
Now he does know that something that me and him has actually talked about too. I'm personally gonna throw some funds towards the gator light deal, because there's money that's sitting there that could build from there and then potentially get exactly what we need.
Yeah, so
for everything.
You keep saying gator light, and just to clarify for anyone listening, I know exactly what you mean.
Gator skin.
It's either
Sorry.
gator skins
Gator
or
skin.
skate light.
Yeah.
You guys have been looking at the gator skins, right?
Yes. Yeah. I talked to a gentleman.
It's more fundable. It's and I hear the composites actually in the material. They, as a company, they actually. I hear it's a little bit better than skate light.
That's what I've heard, but they don't have the
one to say, but
they don't have the history behind it to prove it.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like,
right, maybe
I think it's
20 years
worth
out
trying.
on a whole park, with it laying down, and we'll see where it sets from there.
Exactly, because that current skate light at Rockies has lasted
A
at
long
least
time.
20 years.
Yeah, a long time.
So
And
I
the
hope it's
internals
as
of all
good or
them
better.
ramps, I really think like all the internals, the 2x6s and everything like that, it's all treated, so it wasn't cheaply done, you know,
Mm-hmm.
from the get-go. There was a lot of
Just
planning
time.
and thought and time and effort into putting that park in. So if it can get up-faced where the next generation of kids can ride it for the next like 10 to 20 years instead of, you know, things starting to deteriorate within 7 to 10 years, you know, of where they're at now, it would be much better.
Yeah.
It'd be super cool.
Yep. Definitely. So you did that. You reskinned the box jump, and then I think it was just mostly moving things around, but you built a smaller box jump next to the main box.
Yeah, Bride and Rocky's son, they wanted to pull some things out behind the 8-foot, some old little ramps and everything like that, and they actually put them together where there was a smaller box jump for the little ones next to the big box jump, and then a piece of coping actually, angled coping actually got involved after that, and that's on the edge of the big box jump. So there's a lot of different options there for people to do.
Yeah. Yeah, it came out cool.
Yeah, it did come out really cool.
We were hoping to have the racetrack, but that's in the beginning of spring. I will be asking, like, starting to reach out for helping hands to come and get that done, so we can have a main event race and stuff.
Yeah.
They've been down there. They've been down there working on some things
but
down back.
Everything's gonna freeze soon, so
Mm-hmm.
start, reaching out,
So
round
then
them up.
the other thing that we were talking about was that you were in the process of trying to get a nonprofit set up.
Yes.
Is that
Yep. That is
still
That's in
moving?
the works. Yep. The funds from DWA, that is what that's going for, and then whatever else I was raised through the Chinese auction, that's all going to Rocky.
Cool.
Yep. For
Yeah,
upgrade.
I know that nonprofit getting the formal status on it and
it's a
everything
lot.
can take a long
I'm
time.
in with all the paperwork right now.
You've got lawyers that you
Yep.
got to deal with, so
Yep.
it's like it costs you a ton of money just
Yep.
to get there.
So, that's a big part of DWA, what they're helping with.
That's
so,
awesome
Yeah.
that they've been helping you out
Yeah,
with
God
that.
bless them. God bless them.
So then, I mean, that was the little bit that was in the public eye.
Yep.
Moving up to the jam. Was there anything else going on behind the scenes that you want to talk about before the jam happened?
Oh, the trophies. All the little trophies and everything like that I made. I've just spent endless hours sanding and doing just little touches with the wood burner on them and everything like that. And there was a couple small details that no one will ever truly know about that was in a couple of them that I made myself, but you can barely hint that even anything's there in the midst of everything else. But that is one thing that I really enjoyed doing. So I'd like to further on out, make a few Styles for Myles trophies in the next couple of years. It might not be wood this year. Maybe it'd be steel, something a little bit different.
Mm-hmm.
Something maybe to do with bike parts. Might be a chandelier or sprockets. Somebody might get just
That would be awesome.
chandelier of just sprockets, just hanging.
So that means you're doing the trophies every year?
Yes,
Okay,
yes.
perfect.
I think that's awesome to have the personal, like super
Yes,
personal
yeah.
touch to the trophy set up. And
Yeah, and being dad and everything like that, I definitely want to do the Styles for Myles trophies for me.
With that said, I want to do more at the trails next year.
Yep.
Like, actually have a jam. Like this year, it was kind of just a few of us went down and we hung out and just had a good time. But I'd like to actually, get
Had a
more
little
involved down
cookout.
there. I do already have pigs for a pig roast.
And at that point, if there is going to be pigs going to be
I
down
have
at the
2
trails this
pigs,
coming
actually,
next
so
year.
that's awesome.
She does have
I already
that
got that
also.
set up, so it's a for
Nice.
sure thing, and we are having a pig roast.
Awesome.
Yes.
I'm sure
Be a
we
cool
can
springtime thing to do, and then have like
Right.
the proper jam towards the
Yes.
end of the year or
Yep.
something again.
Yeah.
I'm sure we might be able to deep fry a turkey or something like that too if we're going to have a pig. I mean, why wouldn't we have a deep fried turkey there fried next to it?
Heck, why not?
Yep.
Let's see.
We kind of want to make it close on dates of the local jams in Pennsylvania next year, like the Caddy Woods Halloween Jam and everything like that. We don't want to make
spoke to
it the
those
same
guys.
weekend, but we're going to try to make it really close to that. That way everybody's in state
They're in with it.
and
So,
Cool,
yeah.
cool.
everybody's moving from one
Then both of
jam
us
to
will
the
have,
next.
that crowd.
Yeah,
Be able to-
because it was the
yeah.
same day, wasn't
yeah,
it?
so,
Yeah.
it was
Yeah.
tough.
It
So,
would
yeah,
have
they're
been
gonna work with
different if
us.
it was even a couple days apart. I'm sure if it was like 3 or 4 days apart, there would have probably been at least 50 to more people,
Yeah. yeah.
at least.
It would have been on different dates, but they had to change theirs like last minute. So,
Oh.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, that always happens, so it
Yeah,
kind of is what
yeah.
it is. But
yeah. But
definitely
we're
a
gonna
bummer
keep in
when
touch
people have to
with,
decide.
I've been in touch with them, so I asked them, and they're totally on board with trying to make sure we're on separate dates, weekends.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Do you have a tentative date for next year, or are you holding that in for now?
Well, see, I'm trying to keep it around his birthday. I mean, I can't change it. Can't change his birthday, but so we'll work like it'll be within the first week or 2 of October.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, that worked out.
yeah.
It'll
For
be
the
really.
time
And
of
then,
year.
like you were saying, have one like try to like separate them.
And I really
was
think
thinking about that.
if we did have it like a weekend or 2 before or a weekend
Yeah.
or 2 after the Caddy Woods Jam and the local jams. in
I
state.
have I'm forming teams. I took most of it on myself, like because it was just something I felt like I had to do.
Yeah.
So this year, Mr. Ben Galacci talked. We had a talk, and he made a lot of sense to me. So I'm gonna make teams. Get some more help, like with planning it all. So the kids, I'm gonna do the activities, like think of other activities to do, like outside of riding
Mm-hmm.
for other kids and stuff. Cornhole tournament I'm planning on this coming year. So,
Yeah.
Yeah.
So as we're transitioning to the jam itself, I do want to tell you guys, I've been to a bunch of jams. I've been to the Next Generation Jam at the Wheel Mill a bunch of
Right.
times, which is aimed at young kids.
Right.
Without being specific to this is a jam for kids, your
Right.
guys' jam was the most kid-friendly jam I've ever been to.
Right on. Yeah, that's awesome. And I'd really like to see that even progress for in the next few years.
Mm-hmm.
Just
Yes.
get more kid and family friendly. Bring the families together and everything like that, and have a good time for Jam Day.
Yeah, I mean, Next Gen is awesome, and they do a great job for the kids too.
Right.
Yeah.
But it's like you can go as an adult, but there's nothing for you as an adult.
Right.
Don't they have a Halloween Jam at the Wheel Mill too?
They did
Is it-
something small. I don't know exactly
Yeah.
what it was.
And that's all in state too. So that's even less. There's a lot of BMX people that go to them different jams. So I mean, if the Styles for Myles keeps getting bigger and progressing, the name gets out there. These guys is like what's that movie? Field of Dreams.
Yeah.
If you build it, they will come. Kind of deal.
You know that is one of the most misquoted lines in movie history.
Right. If you build it, they will come.
He will come.
Or yeah,
Is the
he will
quote,
come.
actually.
yeah.
Everyone says they will come.
Yep.
You're right, it is he.
I know.
If you build it, he will come.
It's really a bummer when you even know that. You're like,
Right.
darn it.
Right.
I'm like, "Dick." Right.
But no, I mean, it's true. So one thing that I think that they do that's cool, though, that you guys may like or dislike is they hand out punch cards to all the little kids, like a bingo card
Okay.
of all the different events that you're holding that day. And it doesn't matter if you come in first or last, but you have to participate to get a stamp on that bingo
All
card.
right. Yep.
Okay.
To participate.
And then
in
if you
the
get
event.
when you get bingo, you turn it in for a small prize at the end.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, that's a
Yeah,
really
that's a
good
really
idea,
good idea,
too.
yeah.
That is a super
Yeah.
good idea.
Yeah, because actually I just sat here and came up with I would like to do my aunt had mentioned doing pumpkins in memory of Myles and putting them around the courthouse to bring awareness for justice. So I'm thinking we're gonna do a pumpkin carving for all the kids and parents and put them around the courthouse. Yep. I think that would be a good activity to do. So.
And a
It'll be fun.
little poke in the ribs
Right,
for
you
the
know.
county.
Well, you know,
Right.
if there's a couple hundred pumpkins that sit out there,
Hey.
somebody's going to have
That's
to
right.
take care of them.
They will. But if the jam is timed well, you may be able to do the carving and like a donation to carve the pumpkin at the jam.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, so there'd be like maybe a couple dollar donation on top of the
Whatever the pumpkin cost is,
Right.
yeah.
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 Yeah. That's a
Get a
great
big
idea.
tote of them. Couple of them. 100.
100.
Well, see, Rocky said he said at least 200 people that showed up.
Yeah, it seemed like it was a pretty good
Yeah,
crowd
like throughout the whole day. You know
from
what I mean?
adults and everyone
Yeah.
to the kids.
I just ask if I can have all the pumpkin seeds so I can bake them and salt them
No,
down.
I'm doing that.
Oh, jeez.
If I can have all the pumpkin, I just bag the stuff up. I'll clean the seeds out of all
I'm
of it.
trying to think how, like, mildly disgusting the mass amount of 100 pumpkin guts in like a giant garbage bag would be.
It'd be Santa Claus walking around the corner for sure.
fertilizer.
It'd be really disgusting in
It'd be
a
a
way.
big old bag of
Of
seeds.
mush.
Yes. Oh man, I'm not carrying it.
Oh, but it would taste so good, you know.
Mm-hmm.
Sit there and bake pumpkin seeds for like 4 days. Your house would smell amazing.
So yeah, I'm gonna let you guys go on it then. Like how take me however you want to go, step by step, minute by minute through the day. How you guys felt, how you thought the event went, anything that you want to do differently or better next year, anything like that.
I thought the event went amazing. I really did. I had bad anxiety. I'd say about halfway through it, but that kind of caught up once I started speaking a little bit better on the microphone later on. I tried once or twice at the beginning, and I really couldn't. But there was a lot of people that showed up, and there was a lot of kids that were riding, and there was a lot of good riders too. It turned out really well. I think next year there'll be a little bit different things going on other than just like the sky high out of the 8 foot or anything like that. I mean, I'll maybe make 2 quarter pipes, and I want to see a gap from the 6 foot all the way up to the 8 foot and a double peg grind, and that would be pretty crazy if I seen that coming out of that 6 foot up on top of the 8 foot, just a double peg and come back in. I'd be pretty stoked just to see that.
You started doing about like 3/4 of the way through the day. You just got on the megaphone and you're doing like call the shots. You're like, I just want to see this trick. Someone do this trick.
Then Blueberry. Oh, Harry. Harry came up from Delaware, made me really happy. He ended up getting the blue helmet, and then he became Blueberry for the day.
Yeah.
All you can see is this blue helmet just like cruising through the park, like left, right, up, down. It's like Blueberry.
Did Harry stop riding at all?
No.
At any point?
No,
during the day?
no.
He
Harry
just
was
ride
like
continuously
nonstop,
for 14 hours.
I think
so.
I think when it come to the grind,
He came down to the trials too, I think.
Yeah, he did.
yeah, he did the next day.
He was there.
At the ledge competition, it was we were doing like a ledge competition. I think it was Duke that actually come up with that. It was after everything else was going on, and Harry, like 15, 20 minutes in, he's like, you guys ain't started yet? And he's been like grinding this ledge and spinning and everything like that.
Pulled all of his tricks
And
already.
pulling everything off on it already. And he's like, guys haven't even started yet? And I'm like, huh? I didn't see anything, man. But yeah, it was awesome to see him come up and a lot of other people come down.
Yeah, a lot of the Syracuse
Drew,
crew came down, which was awesome.
And then Drew and what was it? John Courts. It was really nice seeing John. And then what was it? Drew and what was his name?
Tough Luck was there.
Tough Luck was there.
Yeah, Jason.
Saints for Sinners were
Yeah, Saints to
were
Sinners,
there.
yeah.
But what was that one kid's name? He was doing phenomenal.
Alex.
Davey.
Alex, the 9-year-old.
Not Davey.
Isaac?
Davey was doing really good
Isaac?
too. Isaac.
Oh, okay, yeah. And then there's
Yeah.
Alex. He came with his dad
Y-
from
yeah,
like 4 hours
Alex.
away. He was the winner, one of the winners.
Yeah,
Yeah,
well, that was like,
Isaac.
I showed up, and as I'm walking in with my bike, I see a 9-year-old doing
Isaac
a
was
tail whip
pretty
over the
crazy.
box jump. I'm like, oh, well, here's
They'll
how the
be
day's
there.
going.
I talked
He
to
did a
them and the
backflip, too,
mom,
that-
and they
yeah.
will be there every year. Yep.
Did he do a
They said he had
backflip over the
blast,
box?
and- Yeah, he did a backflip too.
Mm-hmm.
He could,
That's what I thought. The little man was doing
Yeah, he was
backflips
ripping.
over
It
the
was
box.
awesome.
Yeah.
I love watching little kids be
Yeah.
amazing at bike riding.
Yeah, because they're only going to get better.
Yeah, I was watching some of his videos. I'm like,
They're
oh my
just going to
goodness.
keep doing it, especially if they're around people like at the jam and everything like that.
Well, they've been shown
just
it's
such
possible.
good inspiration towards the
Right.
kids.
Once they're shown it's possible,
Yep.
It's
why can't you
endless.
do it?
You could just keep going from there.
Like our generation had, is it possible? Like, oh man, you've seen people do backflips. Can they do double? Like that would be crazy.
Or triple.
Or quad.
There it is.
But even like tail whips, I think it was double tail whip was the most anyone had done as we were really growing up. And it was like, where do you go from here and how? Like you don't see people doing it around you.
There
You
was
see it
one
in
other-
videos or in magazines.
Right.
There was one other dude that was like super shredding out there. I can't remember his name either. I think he came down with. Did he come down with Drew?
I don't know. I don't know who. There were a handful of dudes
Yeah,
that
there
were
was, man,
definitely
but
riding hard.
I just wanted to thank every one of them guys,
Yeah,
for
definitely.
coming for Styles for Miles, and all you guys are more than welcome for next year and the following years. It's about bringing the kids and the families together and just having a really good time. And I know they enjoyed it. There was a lot of jam prizes. We're gonna
Overflowing.
we're gonna do that a little bit differently next year. We're gonna have things a little bit more
Sorted
sorted
and-
out for sizes. That way, we have at least a size marked on bags with different stuff in it, and we're like, oh yeah, you're a medium or you're a
Tote
large.
bins. Tote bins.
Tote bins, yeah.
Good idea.
Do the sizes on them, yeah.
Yeah.
For sure.
Tote bins is the easiest way to go, but
Just
it takes
throw
up a lot of
largest in
space.
all of them, and then, medium and everything in between.
Yeah. That's kind of not relevant to the conversation, but as I've been looking for a house and everything, that's like in my plans is to better sort my clothes for GrindWorks,
That's the biggest
shirts
thing
and stuff.
sort
Right
my
now,
house out.
all the sizes are in one tote bin.
Buddy, I understand. I've
And
been
folded
looking
together,
for a
but-
house too the past couple months.
Yeah.
Oh, at least month.
Have you found
month
any?
and a half.
Have you found any and put an offer in on anything?
We got to figure out where we're gonna
Have you? Had
Yes.
any luck?
Yes.
Yeah.
So,
where we're gonna be able to find a place. We got to figure out where we wanna.
where you
go
want
and
to where you
have
want to
a
go.
place.
So I've put offers in. I've rescinded offers
Right.
where you have to give up your earnest money. So like, you put $3,000 down on the house and you
Right.
back out of the offer.
Mhm.
You lose it.
They keep it.
Yep, they keep it quick. too.
My.
I've had an offer that got accepted on a house, and I scheduled my inspection, and I prepaid for that. And then they called me up and they said that they got a better offer and they're taking theirs, and we're SOL.
Wow.
So the inspection.
That's
The inspector
They
refunded my
refunded you?
money because it
Okay.
hadn't happened yet.
Oh,
All
okay. Phew.
But
That's good.
like
Still though.
they're supposed to continue showing offers if they come in while they're in attorney review
Mm-hmm.
for the contract itself. Once that closes and the offers, so there's like 3 days beyond the we accept your offer, quote unquote, to formally being accepted, and it's where the
Yeah.
attorneys reviewed the contract and everyone agrees that this
Right.
is an acceptable.
Jalen, how do you like
Contract.
the jam?
It was pretty good until I started riding bike.
And she crashed and ate face.
Oh yeah.
Oh man.
Went over my handlebars and I was
You
ate
hit your
it.
She did.
My
she ate
chin.
Face
you hit your
real good.
chin, but it was a
I
couple
was proud
days
of her.
later.
She got on her bike the next day and rode again at
It
the
was.
trails.
I was gonna say you rode the next day and shredded down to the trails,
Yeah.
and it was a couple days later. Your chin was finally starting to move again.
Yeah.
I told you it would start to move again. I mean,
Yeah.
it's
It felt
it's a
like my
matter
jaw
of time.
was like in my ears. It hurt so bad.
Sometimes it feels like your jawbone's in your ears.
It does.
I went,
Sometimes
I
it
literally
feels
went over
like
my
that.
handlebars and
Yeah, you-
ate concrete.
She's like, Mom, I look like a witch.
I did. My chin was like out so far.
Yeah, but you did really good. It was a really good time, and you had fun with all your friends.
Yeah, I brought like a lot of my
Yeah,
friends.
we brought lots of kids.
You did bring down a lot of friends.
I miss Kellen.
You miss Colin?
Yeah, he's in Maine.
Yeah, I miss Colin, Joe. He's cool.
We'll get them.
He's good stuff.
Um,
He's a good little dude.
there was a whole bunch of cool stuff that you guys had at that jam too, with like whoever did the rocks, painted rocks.
Yep.
Oh yeah.
Yep.
The
Her
lady
name,
that painted
that's
the
Kathy.
rocks.
She's like another mom to me.
I ended up getting one handed to me,
She
but
had a
I
blast
gave
doing
it
it, too.
to. I ended up giving it the Kate.
Yeah,
For
I
his
actually,
rock garden.
I have a little garden for Myles at my house.
Yeah, she
like
gave
on
you
the
the
side
rest
of the
of
house,
the
and she gave
rocks?
me all the rest of the rocks. So I put
That's
them all in
awesome.
there, and
She did.
Yeah.
She gave all to her. I was
like,
like,
"These are
I was
for
like,
you."
look at them. They're amazing.
Yeah.
Oh, they look
Well,
really
she did
cool.
all the little different characters and stuff.
Yeah, Ryder loves his
Yeah.
that he got.
Aw.
He has them on his little nightstand right next to his bed.
I did
And
want
his
to.
favorite one is a Scream rock. It's a Scream guy, and I'm like,
She is so creative.
you've got no idea what
the
that is,
season
but
is.
you love it. So like, whatever,
Right.
dude.
That's awesome.
I did
That's
want to
awesome.
thank your friend that made
She's a
the
wonderful lady.
welcome to Styles for Myles sign.
Yeah, Andy Roselle.
Andy Rizal, I'd like to thank you very much for making the sign for us. we appreciate it, and it's amazing. That'll come with us to every Styles for Myles Jam from here on out. You know, that's just something that's super touching, because I've never really had anybody make me anything like that before, man. So yeah, thank you, Andy.
Yeah, he had reached out after we posted that episode and said, "Hey, I'm really touched by this story. True believer in justice. Can't believe they're not doing anything about this. And what can I do to help out?" So
We're still fighting for it.
I had sent him a picture of the sign that you made, the plaque with the chain and everything. So he kind of had a stylistic idea to go from that.
Oh, it looks great next to it.
Yeah.
They really do. They look good together. They look super
I'm sure
nice.
he's going to be stoked when he hears. So
Yeah. I did want to thank him a lot on the podcast and everything like that, because that's was the only thing that got handed to me by you, Andy, and I've never had anybody make me anything like that before. So that's
he wanted to make it. They had a road trip planned for months in advance, and it just happened to be that same weekend. And
Nice.
right.
somehow through all the however long you had that posted, almost a full year you were advertising the jam, people didn't see it, which I think is one thing I told you originally. If you post it too early,
Right.
it'll get lost in the wash. Like
Right.
2 to
Right.
3 months is
Yeah,
about
that's
the
another
spot.
thing. Like, you know, because I really haven't been posting much since after. Like, I've been kind of trying to breathe, you know, and just taking a, you know, I guess a mental break. But yeah, I'm gonna do that a little different and have helpers with that too, like with posting about it and like what's gonna be coming, or if we come up with new idea, or you know, whatever.
Yeah.
So it's out there more, I guess.
Yeah.
It doesn't get washed.
I personally handed out 200 flyers to local businesses, walked in and handed it to all of them, and the majority of them were pleased to hang up the Styles for Myles flyer. And that's something that we're gonna be able to do next year too. We'll get them out local places and everything like that. But we'll do it a little bit closer to the jam, so it's not so
Sporadic.
sporadic on everybody. Yeah, it's like
It just goes. I feel like when it's so far out,
Right.
you've been seeing it for so long, and you just like
That's why
the first time you're like, oh, it's
Wow.
way out,
Yeah, that's why
and
like,
then you
I
forget.
tried to not overpost it, like you know.
Yeah. It's tough though, because you gotta have like other content to balance it
Right.
too. Because if you're not, like, if you post it on say Instagram,
Right.
and then you aren't posting 2 times a day with other stuff,
Exactly.
no
yes.
one's gonna see it when you post it again
Right.
because
But
your account just doesn't get traction.
I think it's a good possibility that for this
I've
next
hit
year
over
too, that
1,000
they'll.
likes on Instagram now, so.
Nice.
Yeah,
for
that's a
Myles.
lot.
Don't
That
ever
is a lot.
do the pay to promote it.
No.
Ever.
No. Yeah.
I can't use my Instagram still.
Yeah, you're
I
having
think I tried
issues for
boosting
a long
mine
I
once
can-
before. Yeah.
Oh, as soon as
whatever.
you do it, your engagement gets cut in a third
Right.
forever after that.
Yes.
I can only use my Messenger on my Instagram. I can't use like my storyline or post anything on my posts.
It's very weird.
Right.
It is very weird, but my
It is.
Facebook was infiltrated by, well, I don't know. It was happening when the Democrats got in office and all that kind of stuff. But that happened.
Were you posting controversial material?
No, no. I would honestly never do that. I'd usually post about my kids or bicycles or stuff like that.
That's funny. So you
But
see a
ever
lot
since-
of people that can't post on their pages because
Yeah.
I think it has something to do with it
Very
because
restricted.
Facebook and Instagram are connected, and I just
yeah, they're owned by they're both
Or-
owned by
yeah,
the
vice
same
versa.
Meta.
right. So I think that when that happened, just a few months later, I wasn't able. The last post that I got, the post was Jalen's bicycle on her birthday, I do believe, was down to
What's
Rockies.
it do when you try to post? Does it just tell you can't?
No, it just won't let me. Like I go to put like post on a story and go to like the post it and it just won't let it go through.
Interesting.
That's weird.
It's like what's going it doesn't say
Does it let you
anything,
type it?
nothing pops
Have
up
you
on
tried
the screen.
deleting the app, re-downloading it, and re-logging in?
That's not-
I haven't. I probably should do that.
Maybe it might never let you in.
Yeah, I probably don't even remember the password. It's been years since I've had it.
It really might not let you in if you
Yeah.
delete it and try to log in again.
Yeah, it'll
No.
probably tell me that person
Wrong
in
password, wrong email.
Yeah, from Virginia, that email that hooked up to my account will probably tell me that it's that email at that point.
Might be easier to just create a new one.
Yeah.
Probably.
Rats. Never wanted to do that.
But
you
before
know?
you do all that, make sure you save everything, so you have it.
Mm-hmm.
So that's one of the biggest reasons why I haven't posted anything for Styles for Myles, before the event. But I did make a lot of trophies and spent a lot of time making different things, setting down. And it wasn't only just sitting there making the trophies, it was giving me a lot of thought on different things for the future. Not only for Styles for Myles, for my kids, and for myself's well-being and everything like that. And
So
it's been great though. I mean, the Styles for Myles jam was amazing to me. It was everybody that you'd ever want showed up, and then there's just going to be more people at that point that's going to show up on top of that next year.
Definitely had a bigger outcome than what I was
Expecting.
thinking. Yeah.
Yes,
the first one.
so it was an awesome outcome.
So it's funny. I've been saying this a little bit on and off for a while, and then I just did right before Halloween, did a 1 day's notice jam ride thing.
Oh yeah.
I heard about
And-
that. Ben told me about that. I was down at the trails
I think I
and I
sent
was
it to you,
gathering
too.
rocks up for the rock wall for the backside of a jump, like all day long while LJ and him were up there with you,
Yeah.
up here with you. I was actually at the trails going up and down the creek bed getting boulders, man, and carrying them up and putting them on the bank and lining them up, getting them ready to build
That's
the
funny.
rock wall on the backside.
So anyway, where I was going with that is that you can spend as much time or effort as you want into putting a jam together,
Yeah.
and there's no guarantee anyone shows up for it.
Right.
Or you can do the absolute bare minimum.
Right.
And then everybody just
But even then, there's no guarantee anyone shows up for it. I think we had 10 people or so show up for that.
that's still pretty cool.
I was gonna be happy if I was the only one and I got to
Right.
ride around
Right.
alone. At least I had a reason to go ride.
Guys to ride with, yeah,
Yep.
would have been.
So, no, it was cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But, to your point, how many did you expect? It's hard to tamper your expectations.
It
but
is.
50 to 100, and when I asked Rocky, he said there was 67 or almost 70 riders, just
Yeah.
riders that signed in, and that's not counting everyone else that came. So he said he would say it was 150 to 200 people.
yeah,
So that's what I was hoping for, was 150 to 200 people. I
Mhm.
wasn't thinking anything more than that, but next year and the year after that
Right.
can always
yeah,
add.
as long, me and Caddy
you know.
Woods, we stay in touch, and if they are held on separate weekends, you got to think all those people, because I had so many that reach out to me
Mhm.
and said we would still be there,
Amazing
you
sponsors.
should if you can, and
Great
they may not be
sponsors.
super cool with this, so you want to talk to them.
Mm-hmm.
But if you can, you should do it the week after theirs because their jam is huge.
Right. Yeah.
Go
they are
attend,
yeah.
talk to people
Yes.
there, promote yours, and see if you can
Yeah,
get
I
people to
would like
come
go
out.
theirs this
Yeah.
next year.
Yep. for breaks for bowling and everything like that.
PA Bob.
Because that would be cool if you could get a lot of people that
Yeah.
that otherwise never know. Because, like, I can help cross-promote it. I didn't do a great job this year. I haven't done anything with GrindWorks, so
Right.
kind of just is what it is. But
Yeah.
Okay.
but
You got awesome wax and
like
awesome
it's a
pegs.
totally different demographic that would be out there
Right.
at that jam than follows GrindWorks anyway.
I love
Right.
pegging too.
Nice. I can't wait till you're both walking through stores together or something wearing your matching I Love Pegging shirts.
You know, I just thought of that.
You won't get any weird looks at all.
No one will. I really don't. I don't really care what anybody thinks anymore. You know, anything like that. If it's a T-shirt, if it offends
Yeah.
them, there's something wrong in their head. They need to
And I mean, we all like doing double pegs. I don't
go
know.
home,
Don't
sit
know.
down, and enjoy a really nice hot meal and cup of coffee would be, you know.
No, it's so funny side to that shirt though is right after, like, I'd come up with the joke a year and a half ago or so, and joked about making that shirt and just talked about it, never made it.
You
As
don't
soon as
have
I
any?
was ordering them to make them,
Yeah.
there was a big thing in the news about, like, the Prince loves pegging.
The Prince loves pegging.
Yeah.
Not too long after you made the shirt.
I hadn't gotten them yet. They were ordered,
Oh.
but I hadn't received them. So it's like there's a period of time where it was like the #1 trending search.
So it gave
What
somebody
pegging
else
was?
that thought. Yeah.
But I'm like, darn it. Like, if I had those and you're searching that
Right.
term, it's the #1 search term, like, you might have actually sold some.
Remember the black? What was it? The GrindWorks symbol shirts with the peg and everything.
Yeah.
Like that, the black ones.
I need to make some more of those.
Those are awesome shirts.
I want to
man.
print them black on black.
They are amazing looking. That
So
actually
that they're
would be
stealth,
cool.
yeah.
Yeah, stealth looking. That would be really cool.
I've done a custom one of that for Derek.
That
He
would be
wanted black
really,
on
really
black.
cool
It looked
shirt.
awesome.
Man, I want one of those.
And Dig made a shirt that
want
was,
one of them.
it was like the black rubberized print
on the
on
outside
a black
of it,
shirt. Yeah.
almost like a tire, like a tire tread or something like that,
No.
or just like a textured rubberized print.
Yeah, that's what the ink felt like.
Yep.
Hi, I'm the plumber working on the building. Are you guys going to be using this sink over here?
Nope, you're all good. Thank you.
There's a sink upstairs that's taken apart, toilet taken apart. If you could just not use that, that'd be perfect.
All right, yeah, we have our own in here, so we're all good.
Perfect, thank you. Have a
Thank
wonderful
you.
day.
You're on the podcast.
Well, I wasn't expecting that we'd talk to a plumber today, but we just did.
Yeah. Maybe he rides BMX.
Weirder things
Man.
have happened.
Weirder things have happened. But maybe he does ride BMX. He looked like the kid that ride bike.
I bet you he doesn't have his plumbing gear on his bike though.
No, but he looked like a trail Sasquatch, for sure. He looked like he got out there and just slapping dirt on dirt jumps all day long.
You might be.
It's a good possibility. There's a lot of them out there.
Plumbing is a side job.
So anyway, styles for Myles. I don't remember where we were at all.
But you, Mama,
I mean,
what you got planned for next year?
I already said that.
All right. Well,
I mean, there will be more. My brain works constantly.
Okay,
I do-
I've got a good question for you guys, but continue your thought.
there is a couple things that I would like to get done before next year's jam. I'm sure that there's going to get more than that done, other than the racetrack and everything being done out back. But I'd like to get a lot of the paint and everything on the handrails repainted, at least by next year, and have
Aren't we painting that one wall?
yeah, And that was another thing that we talked about with Rocky. There's going to be a painting on the one wall and everything like that with brand new plywood.
Awesome.
You know, just like a custom touch for the shop and everything like that.
Awesome. So my question is going to be a little bit directed towards Kate and then you too. As you know, right after it happened, you pretty much started planning this jam. It was like
Yeah, like
almost
a month after, like
almost the day of the viewing, I think.
right.
You guys were talking about doing something.
Yep. I had it in the like.
So you latched onto that right out of the gate,
It was
and
the
I'm
only thing that
assuming it's
really-
been a huge coping mechanism for you.
Huge,
So
huge.
you've been able to focus.
Besides the other two, children, that has kept me. The only thing that's kept me grounded.
So you've been able to focus a ton of time and energy
A
and
lot.
effort into that.
Almost
So
every waking moment.
so when the jam finally happened, and you don't have to be planning it anymore, how does that feel? Does that help you? Was it like a point of closure in any sort of way, or not really?
It made me really emotional
It's like
when
I've been like
when she
I
started
kind of
all
like
this.
have been taking a mental break, like I said, because I have to but it's like a force I have to do because it is hard, like not doing I still pick up my notebook and I'm like I said, my mind's running constantly, because of it all, because there's no justice served, there's nothing being done, so I have to do something to I don't know, whether it's to do with that or looking up laws and doing that, but that it's been hard not doing it actually. Yeah.
That's kind of the answer I expected to
Yeah.
hear, was that
Yeah.
you almost feel lost in the moment.
do.
But
Yeah, and then, every time, it's crazy because I'll go to post something and I'm like, I get that anxiety or something, and then it just overflows me, and then I just go back to my notebook, I guess. So that's kind of why I want to get some help with even managing that, because it just gets overwhelming, I guess.
mm-hmm.
But
and
I
then
have to do it.
it's very similar but slightly different question. I know Kate handled most of the jam stuff, but you did a lot of the the trophy work and kind of some of the other coordinating and little stuff. So again, when you finish that up, and not that there's nothing else to work for, because you've got an uphill battle still, but how do you feel?
I feel good. I was really emotional at first when I found out that Mama actually pursued and reached out and talked to so many different people in the BMX community and our sponsors. I want to thank them, because if a lot of that wouldn't have happened if it wasn't for our sponsors right off the bat. It gave a lot of different kids some things that they're going to cherish for the rest of their life, and not only for that, for this winter, because it's going to be a cold winter and stuff like that. So some of them scarves and beanies and gloves and everything like that went out to kids. It's if they're going to go outside and they could just have their little piglets warm for a few minutes, man, matters more to me than going outside and having them cold, for a kid.
Do you guys have any merch, the Styles for Myles merch that people can buy?
Actually, I wanted to bring that up.
What?
Because we have our logo. So he's from Arizona. He's the one that helped me with the logo. He's going to continue to help me. He's actually going to also help me with merch, because he does all that,
Okay,
so.
I was gonna suggest maybe like a
Shirts,
Teespring or something,
Right.
which is Teespring's a website where you don't have to go out and buy all the stuff up front.
Teespring.
It's already there.
No, you just tell them what you want to offer. You
Right.
upload your logo to
Okay.
it, and they print per order, and then they
I
just
do
send
have a
you like
website.
$2 per shirt or something.
I am in the process of a website too
Okay,
for
awesome.
PA Bob's Styles for Myles.
I want a tank top one, like
So, I mean, you
What
can
is
like
get
it,
like
real
couch-
short tank top
T-
styles for Miles. Like I want a tie dye too,
TEE.
TEE Spring.
just like my seat on my bicycle, the blue and white tie dye, and then styles for Miles. My custom styles for
But yeah, I
Miles.
would like to.
You can even
you
get
know,
like couch
shirts,
pillows
hats,
and stuff.
Obviously
That'd be cool.
stickers, you know, all that.
Yeah, you'll have to look up the
Yeah,
Teespring
definitely
thing
will.
because some of their stuff, like the quality, kind of goes up and down. It's not like the best website, but
Right.
but I know people that use it. Are you guys familiar with Brant Moore, Lip Lords?
Yeah, yeah.
I've heard
He
of them.
he uses it
Rides
for his stuff.
Alienation too, doesn't he?
Yeah,
Yeah. Yeah,
he
he's
uses
pretty,
it for his stuff.
pretty amazing rider. That he is.
Yep,
I watch a lot of his stuff on Instagram.
he's
You scroll
alright.
through, you see a lot of it. You know what I mean? Because it's all like the wheel mill and rays and everything. Like you were,
He's got the hustle down. So I mean, if you guys, I can talk to him if you guys want to talk to him when the jam gets closer and
Right.
stuff too.
Yeah.
Because he does once a week. He posts BMX news on his YouTube channel.
Okay.
Anything happening,
really?
Nice.
puts that up. He
Yeah,
posts every day
that
on
would be
YouTube.
really cool.
Different
Yeah,
stuff.
that's cool. Yeah.
That would be really cool.
Definitely follow him.
So yeah, he's got a lot of stuff going
What's
on. There.
the one little park that he rides a lot? It's an
Worcester.
outdoor park.
Worcester, Ohio.
All right, okay, because I do see him a lot there, man.
The one little Woodward prefab quarter
Yup.
pipe is the Lip Lords quarter pipe.
Right
So,
on.
like whenever they do their videos and stuff, it's all about that quarter pipe.
Well, that
How
is
much
a
can you
pretty
do
cool
on
little,
one little quarter pipe?
cool
Right.
looking little park, man.
It's one of the better laid out Woodward prefab parks.
Right. What was there? I did go to one Woodward prefab park. It was down. Where the heck was that?
A lot
that-
of them aren't good.
It was here in Pennsylvania. It was actually when I did go to Woodward for a day. Like I showed up there and they had the gymnastics people were all. This parks were all closed, but I did get to ride the two outdoor parks, not the bowl, and obviously, you know what I mean.
Mhm.
I rode the small part of the bowl, but not like the big part or anything like that. But that one little prefab park was pretty cool, though. Was it Sunbury?
I don't know.
Can't remember where it was.
So you guys brought Truman to the
Yeah.
other podcast episode,
He's trapping with
Truman
him.
was
But-
going to come today to this podcast episode.
but so I'm gonna ask Jaylyn. You know, I asked you guys both how the planning of the jam has helped you cope and everything. How has that type of involvement helped you guys? You know, I guess you're gonna have to speak for Truman on his point, but has it helped? Has it been tougher?
It's definitely been tough, definitely, cause like he's my brother and like
They were really,
That's-
really
yeah.
close. So
Mm-hmm.
yeah.
Yeah.
and so was him and Truman.
Yeah.
Do you,
She's gonna be more involved this year.
Yeah.
okay.
You know, with the activities and stuff. I
Do you-
think the first year.
Do you feel that
The
it
three of
was
them were
a good
pretty close.
representation for Myles,
Yeah.
the jam?
Most definitely.
Good. No, I do too. I thought it was an awesome event.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah. It turned out amazing, man.
His nickname was Smiles. So you know, if I can bring more smiles to more
Mhm.
kids' and people's faces, then I'm gonna do it because that's what he would have done.
Just to see that, you know what I mean, and then you think about your
Didn't matter how
son's
much of a fool he had to
nickname.
make of himself, he was gonna make you laugh.
Yeah. He was our genius. He was a
Yeah,
good
he was
dude.
very smart. Very.
Yeah. Super sad. Super unfortunate all around.
Mhm.
So, like, I'm glad you guys are able to make something of it.
Yeah.
But it's unfortunate that you have to.
Right. Have to, yeah.
No, it's not. It's nice that we're going to be able to continue the jam and everything like that, and just there's going to be a lot of helping hands and everything like that, like Ben and LJ and everything like that. He's going to be the biggest part in everything for Rockies. I know Ben's going to be like a lot of involvement on getting things back
Yeah, he
to
was a
where they
huge
need
help.
to be. He's super helped me throughout my life so many different times. Mentally, emotionally, a couple different times.
Mm-hmm.
It's just like a slap in the face, so in a good way.
That's Ben.
You know what I mean? That's Ben. It's
Yeah.
like wake up.
Yeah.
It's like you know what you need to do.
I have not. I don't think Ben has ever been on this podcast.
Oh,
I don't think he has. I think
Well.
we've talked about it.
bike check for DTR frame.
Well, yeah, but I mean, I'm going to say this in the most loving way possible to Ben. But there's two Bens you can talk to. There's the very in touch, like insightful Ben, and then there's the Ben that every once in a while he'll talk to you for 20 minutes, and you're like, I don't know what that dude just said.
Well, that's okay though. Because.
But I don't know which one I want on the show.
Oh, you want both of them. you want to catch them where it's like midway through both of it. You just wanna-
transitioning from
yeah.
one to the next.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you want both of them, for sure.
Like, wow, this guy's really in touch, and then all of a sudden you're like, the whole
Wait, what?
second half of that podcast made no sense.
But he's been a big helping hand, and LJ and everything like that. All them guys, Deuce. I want to thank them. They're my homies. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
We dig at the trails and have fun, and them guys have put a lot of effort and time into a few different jumps before the jam, and in the past 3 years, them trails have went from to goodness to betterness to greatness to awesomeness after the dirt bowl and the spine in the middle of the dirt bowl, the wall ride.
And then it's all deteriorated a little bit. And it's like,
That's just a little bit of guys, packing next year and getting some things back taken care of and smoothing some things up. And, as long as everything keeps going good, with water staying away and everything like that, I mean,
I'll shout out to LJ,
Eric.
Little John. He actually was the one that came up with styles for Myles, like the name for it. He was, yeah.
so it's
that was
small
awesome.
things like that.
mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Dad didn't even know, truly know that, and I've known LJ my whole life. You know what I mean? I haven't known that yet. But that's awesome.
It's all little details.
Yeah,
that make
little
things
details
come together.
makes it all come together, man. In the end, and that's like with the trails. They're gonna get better, bigger, and them guys they busted their butt from day one. Ben, LJ pretty much started it. I've been a helping hand throughout, and it's looking really good. It's the best it's looked in a long time. Brian Duke's dad, he come down with Duke, was a couple weeks ago, and leaf blowed everything back. Like he spent, a little bit of time. He had an awesome leaf blower though, but he made it look amazing before we get a little bit of weather and the snow hits everything. All the leaves are blowed back.
Brian does a ton of work.
Yeah, he does.
Awesome.
He's a working fool. He does do a ton of work, and he told me that he was gonna grab the materials up and everything like that, and take them down the Rockies when that time comes.
Cool.
When we get some things
Help
all together
transport
for
it.
all that,
That's cool.
which helps. That's a really big helping
Yeah.
hand, because if we could
Takes
just
a
get
chunk
it there,
off the price, you
Yep.
know, having our own transportation for it and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
which makes it really good.
Yeah, and the freight's not cheap.
Mm-mm.
Where does gator skins? Where do those ship
They
from?
have a place right in Horseheads actually.
Really?
Yep,
not from. It's from Virginia or.
Yeah, well, yeah,
But they
it
ship
gets,
to.
Like a local
Horseheads.
Yeah,
lumber yard
yeah.
on
Like,
the normal
Yep,
trucks.
and then they just call you.
Elmira
and then,
Freight, or what was that place called? That freight
I
place
have a
that they
quote and
ship it
everything,
to?
you know, that I went through with
Yeah.
with them, so that they offered and all that. So
It was crazy at first, because the first quote was pretty amazing, but then we didn't
Well, there was a
realize that it was
misunderstanding.
indoor materials either.
Yeah, 'cause they have
and
the
not
outdoor and
the
indoor.
outdoor material quote. And then
I'm learning.
And then that number got substantially bigger, but that's okay though, because that's where you just take a breath
Mhm.
and be like, it's still going to be able to get done, no matter
Yeah.
what. We're just going to just go
not
after it
possible.
and try to conquer it.
So,
one piece at a time.
I don't remember the exact dollar amount, but I know it was like almost 15, 20 years ago that a sheet of skate light was like $120 a sheet.
It's expensive, man.
And
it's like
I know what's
$140
going
some
on
dollars a
right
sheet
now.
160. I've looked
I
at
assume
it.
skate light's probably almost 200 now.
It's
Just
insane.
the way that the market
I
has
think I have it with
shifted in costs. But I know you guys probably shouldn't say exactly how much Gator Skins is going to charge you for anything. Just
I was
because I
getting-
don't know if they're
I was
hooking you
getting,
up or if they want it to be public knowledge what it costs. But I do know that years ago it was like $120 a sheet, and that it has to be
Right.
pushing almost 200
Right.
now.
We
It's
were doing,
expensive. It's not.
But
not
it lasts
cheap,
20
it's-
years. You know what I mean? It's
right,
like
it's worth it.
you pay
It's worth it.
pay $60 for a sheet of 3/4 ply, or
It's
you
gonna
pay
keep- if
a
it's
little
gonna keep,
more,
you know,
but that
something for the kids and
that
stuff
ply
for-
only lasts so many years.
And there's thought in it, like I already have 3 or 4 I wouldn't say self-tappers, countersinks. I already even have 3 or 4 countersinks bought up for all of it, you know what I mean? That way we could just hand it to the next guy and hand it to the next guy
Yep.
and be like, hey, we're going to do this right. We're going to put the right screws in it. We're not going to slimp out on it. There's going to be like some grade A coated screws and all this.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, the
Even
good
if we
phosphate
gotta
coated
buy
ones
a
or
few
something.
buckets, yeah. We're just going to make sure that it's done right no matter what. So I don't want to go and spend. I'd rather spend $130, $140 more on screws and make sure that they're not going to snap off in the next couple of years.
Yeah.
Instead of just slipping off on that
Right.
and then stuff start breaking at that point. That's not how we need to pursue this. And it's one thing at a time. And that was talk with Rocky too. I'm sure things are going to get moved a little bit. Things are probably going to get changed a little bit. There's a lot of talk that Ben wants to do a lot of different things and everything like that, and that's okay. But to be able to have and get the materials there and do it is what we need to really be focused on, and having the right anchors and screws, having the right screws and everything like that, so they don't snap off, the heads don't come flying off.
Yeah.
Holding it down tight. We'll have to flip some 2x6s, I'm sure, and some of them ramps on the towards the bottom.
Probably.
But once you get up into
Even
the
that,
structure,
you may just
of
want
them,
to cut new,
Yeah.
because 2x6s are
Yeah.
not as expensive as the ply and everything you're
Exactly.
putting in.
I looked in a few of them, and I peeled back the one on 6 foot to wedge to 6 foot wall ride on the one side, and even the mini. We all know that the whole bottom of the mini is rotted out, but when it starts the vert up each side of that mini ramp, them 2x6s coming across and everything like that, I personally think, and you know, I'm my son up above me right now, and God's grace is down on our shoulders. And once we start breaking everything apart and, you know, fixing things, that it's not going to be as bad as what some people think. Underneath that,
I think it's going to be your ground level stuff that's
Yep.
mostly.
We're closest to that water line, but that's about it.
Because anytime it rains like that, the base of the mini, like you're saying, it's in contact with the ground. Like it's going to leach water. And
it's always going to sit there. And if there's different things with that mini, too, that can be done to avoid that, you know, and that was talks on things, too. The whole mini actually getting spun, and then the whole bottom of it getting rebuilt. You know, each side getting spun, and then the whole deck part getting rebuilt into each side again, and then surfacing it. So the sun, right there where that mini actually sets, does not hit it all day long as if it would be spun around. The sun would actually hit that, and it would be much better for the ramp itself. If the sun was constantly being able to...
You may be able to put it up too.
Right.
Like if you lifted it
up just a little bit,
6
up
inches.
That,
So that
would
there's
probably work
airflow.
too.
If you have
Underneath.
airflow under it, then you've got less things to hold water.
'Cause you always got them corner like support blocks and everything like that for foundations, like for porches for houses and stuff like that.
You can
That's
put it right up on
definitely
those.
going to hold for sure.
Is there anything you guys want to say about the jam additional?
Yeah. Well, I'd like to thank everybody. Number one, I'd like to thank everybody for showing up to the jam.
Do you have your sponsor list on you to run through them again?
I think I do.
We can pull the flyer.
I think it is. Oh, in the vehicle. Yeah, I don't have it.
Because I know, like, we can go off
I've seen a lot
memory a
of
little
works.
bit, but I don't want to miss them.
I've seen a
Right.
lot of works frames. There was a lot of works frames. So that tells you something about a good frame from a good person, from a good sponsor, from a good homie. You know what I mean?
Yep.
That leads to another homie. There was... Makes me want one. a custom Jordan works frame. Yep.
I was going to
Underneath
say,
me.
he can do custom head tube badges. You may get a Styles for Myles head tube badge.
That would be pretty amazing. That actually would be pretty amazing.
All right. So what do we got? We got Full Circle Bike Shop. We got Tough Luck. Source BMX. AFT Graphics.
Yep, that's our logo guy.
Circuit BMX. Colony. Fit Bike Co.
I don't believe they sent anything. They were
Yeah.
supposed to. Did they?
Fitness and them did.
Did
Yeah,
they?
they
Oh,
did.
okay. Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Absolutely.
I wasn't sure.
And there was a lot of
Dead
stickers
Crow.
and everything
Yep,
in between. for
Dead
Fitness
Crow.
and them too.
Army. Flat Earth BMX.
Yep.
So, funny thing about Flat Earth BMX, and then they've sponsored our jams a couple of times.
Well, there's no
and,
flat Earth.
And, well, someone stuck one of their stickers on my seat. And I fully expected it to just fall right off.
Yeah.
It has been through rainstorms across from here to Indiana on the back of that car. Soaked.
And has not
and it
fallen
does
off
not
once.
come off. So
wow.
at this point, it just looks like a patch on the seat.
Right.
Right.
But it's hilarious. Anyway, I just every time I
That's
see
awesome.
them, I think of that because I see their name every time I ride.
Yeah.
Cinema BMX,
Yep.
Ride PA BMX, Profile, Metal Bikes, Nowhere BMX, Pedal Driven Cycles, S1 Helmets, Ethic BMX, yours truly, GrindWorks, Heavy Pedals, Kink BMX. I'm unfamiliar with this logo,
Yes,
the
that's
campfire
actually
one.
Blaze Culture. They never followed through, so
Okay. Well, then
moving on.
maybe next year.
Right,
Yeah,
maybe.
maybe they'll be there with us next year.
Arch BMX,
Yep.
DTR. Yeah.
The DTR. That's the crew.
Yeah,
man.
I know. I was looking at it like DTB, and I'm like, it's not DTB.
It does
what are you
look like
doing?
it too.
Crew.
And it's got like a little bit of a blur to it.
Yeah.
Work, all day BMX shop, S&M. What's the E?
The E is Express BMX.
Express BMX.
Yep.
Fictive brand.
They had some things, happen. I think a storm came through. They had to replace, stuff on their house, so they weren't able to have the funds to come. But they should be here next year with us.
Then DWA and Rockies.
Yep.
And then you had that Kathy lady with the rocks that we mentioned.
Kathy Kunzman is her name. Yeah.
And then what was the other?
Which that's another thing I plan on, getting more vendors.
Yeah.
Yep.
I feel like there was something else that kind of came up last minute that wasn't on the flyer, but that's okay.
I know our food trucks, that kind of crashed at the end.
It worked out fine because
Yeah.
Rocky's got a cool little barbecue set up and his little food
Yeah,
shop
that was-
there, so.
Yeah, he reached out and he's like, "Do we need to make food?" I'm like, "Actually, probably yes." Yep, that was awesome.
The bands.
Yeah, bands.
Yep, Metal Turtle is the one that played for us. He actually, at the end, I went to go hand him payment and they did not charge us.
Yep, they did
So
not.
that went right into the funds of the check that will go to Rockies.
I will suggest a band for you for next year
Okay, yes.
that can also
Okay.
come out. They're Buffalo based.
Okay.
Okay.
Travel down to HCS here and there, like good friends with those
Okay.
dudes. So I'll let you know.
Okay,
So
yeah.
maybe they'll
Definitely.
be able to play.
Yeah.
Mom,
Okay.
I'm
Sweet.
singing next
They
year.
they played the
Yeah.
last jam when Ben and John coordinated
Oh,
a jam
okay.
a couple years ago.
Okay, yeah.
They
At
played
Rockies.
at that one, yeah.
Yep.
That was a good time.
Okay.
That
And
was
for
good.
some reason, it's like I should not be forgetting their name, but I'm
I
totally
actually-
forgetting their name right now.
You got some of their music,
Dead Lounge.
the
Dead
videos
Lounge.
that I
Dead
sent you.
Lounge, okay.
Mama has a bunch of videos of that jam, so
Yeah.
I know that she has some of that music playing in the background that I've took of Jalen and Myles and Truman. Truman wasn't there. That's right. It was just Jalen and Myles.
Oh yeah, that one jam.
Yep,
Yeah.
the one down the Rockies. Truman didn't go that day.
No, it was only supposed to be me.
Bubble was there though. I got a couple of
I
videos
barely
of
got
him
to ride.
pulling his hand up off his handlebar while he's riding right towards me and everything like that.
I'm glad you have that little stuff because that's
Mm-hmm.
awesome.
Yeah.
So we didn't do it last time because it was definitely like a heavier conversation. This one's been pretty light.
Yeah.
One of
Yeah.
the things I like to ask people just because it's fun, what's your favorite conspiracy theory?
Oh gosh.
I know, right? That's great.
Our government
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
right now. Right now.
Yeah, especially now.
Who does the FBI go after right now? What's right and what's wrong? I mean,
FBI's in on it.
yeah, I mean,
No,
we all
different
know
name.
that.
Governor.
We all know.
Yes. So true.
Isn't it the best question, though?
It is. That's a good
Yeah, it is the best question.
one. Wasn't expecting it.
Well,
Yeah.
you?
I mean, I'm pretty. Yeah, the government. It's horrible.
I like that it's
No.
never like, oh, I don't really subscribe to any. It's like, oh, which one's my favorite?
Which one?
Wait, hold on.
There's so many of them.
It really is.
There's so many that I like that I like don't subscribe to, but I'm like,
Yes.
how did you get here?
Right.
But conspiracy theory, though, I'd have to say is probably the one I get the most laughter out of and kind of chuckle in the back of my head is different ones that are political.
I hate politics.
I like that they're all well,
I like how they intertwine with each other. They really, they really got it in.
they
for
all lend
some with
merit to each other.
Yeah.
And you're like, huh, interesting.
Yeah, it's like that is great.
Pretty much.
Is that how we want to watch news this day? Just 24/7.
Don't
You
fall for
guys,
it. Do
you know.
not fall for it.
No, we don't want to watch the news.
No.
Oh, when the news was the
Once
news.
it gets you, you're screwed.
It's like we seen that bear up on old 44 or something like that. Big old bear, you know. Instead of talking about politics all day long.
Yeah.
Are you freezing?
I'd like to hear something else. And that's never the case these days with news because it's just nonstop.
How much of it is even news versus opinion?
Mm-hmm.
Like, oh, call in and tell us what you think. Like, no, this is the news. Like,
Right.
tell me the
I don't
fact
wanna-
of what happened and let me form an opinion. Don't tell me how terrible something is. Just
Right.
tell me what
Then
happened.
just tell me what happened. Right.
Let me form my opinion.
How about this conspiracy theory against the Bidens right now?
I mean, there's
It's
been
not
a
a conspiracy theory. They're doing it. It's the truth.
There's been a conspiracy
They're-
theory against
They're all doing it.
everyone that's ever
Everything
taken
that
office.
they did. No, that new investigation though on them, and then seeing what's her name take down Stan off a speaker just within the same days of them starting this new thing with the Bidens and everything like that, just makes me think on who else has money and what accounts and what countries and where are you getting it from, and
Everyone.
yeah, every one of them. We can't put it past any one of them because they all do.
All you can say is, I don't care, red or blue. If one is in office and has been for years, you need to vote them out.
Oh,
Even if it's the other party and you don't believe in their stance,
Oh,
you need to get rid of
100%.
the people that
Right.
have been in there for years and years and
Yeah,
years.
it comes down to limit terms.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? When
Right, but
That's the
they're
problem.
not going to
They
do that.
need
Why
to.
would they vote for that?
they need to.
These people that make, they become multi-millionaires
They're just
out of
gonna-
couple $100,000 a year job.
And they're going to make that next at least a couple million within the next 4 to 5 more years of more of their term. You know what I mean?
Months.
Because they're in that
Months.
Yeah.
Because they're getting all this other funding and everything. They don't have to spend a dime of their own money to run.
No.
Oh man, it's sad that we
It's
live,
crazy.
Now,
live in the. Well, it's a great country, but
If-
there's some messed up things going on running it.
let me
At the
ask you a question. If you went to your job and said, "Hey, I'm going to take the next 6 months off. You're going to keep paying me. I'm not going to do hardly anything for you while I apply for another job. And then if you don't get that job, you just get to come back and keep doing your old job." Do you think that would fly?
No,
Because that's how running for a different office when you're in office is.
well, you know, You got one person that comes in and buys one company after making a tweet. All right.
Yeah.
You got so many people just wants to roll out of their job because he says you need to work harder.
No,
at your
I'm talking
job.
about when the politicians apply,
know.
like trying to get to a higher office when they run, they don't do anything for the next 6 months.
They
Right.
don't.
And then they
Yeah.
just get their position back.
You're right.
Can any of us go do that? Tell our, like, not work for 6 months,
No.
keep getting paid by our job.
No, we're all gonna
And
get
then have it.
told where to go get spent. You know what I mean? Every
Yeah.
one of us
It's like,
on the lower level.
why do you not have to leave your current role to run for a higher office?
I get that.
Yeah.
They just need limit terms, and they need to not be able to work
So,
in office. For
I
that
used to
many years.
think
3
that
years.
people would
3-year limit term.
give it
Or
6.
five,
I don't care.
5-year,
Right,
5-year
right.
limit term.
I think it's on it's even cycles, even numbers usually. But let's say 6, right?
Should
You
be-
can
it
hold
should
this
be close to
position
that.
for 6. And then you can apply, you can go and run for other offices, no
Right,
issue.
different jobs
But-
and everything like that, but you're not
but-
going to do this one.
I used to think that if you put that on a ballot for the people to vote on term limits, that they would agree.
Well, I would think they
But,
would.
and that it would pass right away. But
That's
people
not
are,
everybody's
people are so afraid of change that I don't know if they would actually do it. 2, it wouldn't just be straight term limits.
Right.
It would be mixed in with a bill that does all this other crap.
Do we want good change or do we want to get forced into bad
And it would be
change?
like,
Because we're getting
you know, you'd
forced
get this
into
good
bad
change, but you'd have to compromise on all this other crap in order to get it. It's the way that they'd put a bill together. Just like they just did something in New York here. I believe that it was phrased as one thing, like environmental thing on the bill,
Mm-hmm.
and voting for it. But it also like doubled or something the governor's salary.
Yeah, that's craziness. That kind of thing
But
should
like,
not be
well, yeah,
happening.
of course we should do environmentally good stuff. The
We're
rule
not going
should
to
be
double your salary for it.
single item bills. You can't tack a whole bunch of peripherals on. Like this thing is the subject,
Yep.
but you'll never get there. But I just don't. I think people are so afraid of change that they might not vote for that. Because if they would, wouldn't it just make sense to vote the incumbents out
Yeah.
and not even need the term limits?
Yeah, but I don't, do we even know at this point if there's getting truly casted ballots?
I only asked for one
Do-
conspiracy
do
theory.
We all know at this point if it's not just getting added onto that one side, you know?
I think there's a very large percentage of the population that chooses not to vote because they don't believe that their vote matters.
I do believe that too. Which it does.
And then they don't vote and they
Every
go,
single
see,
vote in your county matters.
see, it didn't matter. Well,
It's not just at the national level.
I just,
And when it comes down to that, it comes down to your local, and that's where it needs
don't
to
vote.
start. And that's where that's
fair, and that's your
That-
right to.
that's
I
fair.
wouldn't judge you for
that's
that.
fair.
I
don't cry when someone is shitty gets.
I did not vote
Elected,
this
and I'm like,
election
it's
cycle.
It is
But
what it is.
think about that. If there's 50 people around this table, and every other person said, you know, we don't know each other, but we just sat around this table, 50 people. Every other person says, I don't vote. That's 50 less people that didn't vote in your local community, in your county.
Mm-hmm.
And you don't know if that next person doesn't vote or they vote.
Yeah.
You know, and so it could add up to.
I
That in your-
bet it's substantial.
That's why you just say I'm voting.
I would think.
I'm gonna vote. It
I
counts.
was out of town.
It counts.
I was out of town and missed it. But I wasn't planning on it. because I had not done any adequate research, and I will
Right.
not just pull a
That's the
lever
big
just to
thing,
pull a
yeah.
lever.
I actually messaged Ben about a half hour.
That's how. Yeah.
At
I
the
gotta like
end
do
of-
I gotta do my homework.
What was it a couple weeks ago? We had our vote in Pennsylvania for a local, and it was a half hour before 7 p.m. And I'm like, did you vote? I messaged Ben real quick. Did you vote? Because I went down and voted in Ulster at the township building. And then I thought about it. I'm like, hey, well, I got to message my good buddy and make sure that he voted. Did you vote?
Yeah.
Get there.
Yeah.
If you didn't.
No, it's funny because I feel like I just said two contradictory things too over the last 10 minutes.
Hey.
One being, if there's an incumbent, vote them out, and also don't just go and blindly pull a lever.
You're right.
But
Need to vote.
I feel like both things are relevant because
everybody needs
maybe
to vote.
someone's only been in there 2 terms, and yeah, fine,
Right.
they are the better option right now. But
If no one voted 5 years ago, this is the time to vote. Even if you had it in your head like my vote will never count. I'm nothing. You know what I mean? It's at a local level. It's at a local level. If you're voting in your county, that vote counts, and that matters at a state level, and then at a national level. That vote counts. It don't matter if you want our country. If everybody wants our country to turn around, they're gonna root for the right side.
yeah,
And I'm not
whatever
saying
you believe that
I'm
right
not saying
side is.
right or
Yeah.
left side as
No.
Democratic or
No,
Republican.
I know.
They're
That's what I'm
just gonna
saying. Whatever you
root
believe
for
the right side is.
the side that needs to. How would I put this? That hasn't quite been putting our country in despair against the rest of the world and different situations.
I think it's people. I don't think it's party. I think it's just people.
People in general.
The people that are in charge are. So, a lot of the time, for anyone's platform to make any sense, there has to be conflict.
Right.
If everyone was getting along, then
It'd be
the
happy and
entire
glory,
party
wouldn't it?
platform doesn't make any sense.
Right.
But there has to be controversy and there has to be difference, and people have to be divided against each other for either platform to inherently make any sense.
Can I make a little bit of sense?
Yeah.
We gotta stop putting money elsewhere and just finish our southern border wall.
I was going to
Finish
say
it
something
and
slightly
get it.
different than that.
Just get it done. Finish it and get it done. But that's gonna help a lot of different things in America.
I would say
Drug related, trafficking related, and
I've got a
Foreign.
couple comments for you that are going to be a little bit different take.
people maybe coming in with different diseases and stuff like that.
I
Let through as at thousands.
I think we need to spend money conservatively, but
Be
treat
smart.
people with basic human decency. And they shouldn't be mutually exclusive, but for some reason they are.
Right.
From one party to another, you either treat people well, or you don't, or you spend money conservatively, but there's no middle ground on that, when they should be obvious that, like, in everyday life, for all of us, we don't spend money frivolously on stupid things, and we aren't assholes to everybody.
I ate a nerd cluster earlier. That was good.
And then
But that was
The,
pretty good. Relaxing.
the other thing I was going to say was on drugs.
Yeah.
Legalize them all.
Yep.
Everything.
Amen.
I don't care what it is or how
Okay.
hard it is. Legalize it all.
Amen.
Because then you don't have to run it over borders, for one.
Yep.
But two, how many of us have lost friends to heroin or something along the likes?
Friends,
Not
family.
because of the heroin itself, but because they're not getting a regulated, controlled
Amen.
substance.
But
Yes.
wouldn't we lose
They
a
all
lot
mess with
more?
it.
At
Not
that
if,
point?
if you can get something that you know exactly what the metered dosage is, I think you'll lose people to the drug, but they're not going to be overdosing on whatever gets laced into it.
I'm gonna stick with what Cartman says, man. Drugs are bad. Or who was that?
Mackey.
Was it
Mr.
Tower?
Mackey.
Or Mr. Mackey? Mr. Mackey.
No,
Drugs
I
are
fully
bad.
agree with you. I'm not saying to go out and do drugs,
Now,
but
herbal.
but I
that's-
believe
It would
that
slow
that you
rate
should
down.
have the right to if you choose to. At the same time,
But it's regulated.
yes,
Right.
and you tax the crap out of it and call it a day. But
Yep.
I also think that you can then actually treat people instead of throw them in prison.
I think the world needs to bring back.
But we want a lot more people
But-
like sleeping underneath
Microdosing.
bridges.
No, you wouldn't have to. If you could exist in your everyday life and do that.
And everyone.
I also think though that like right now, like New York has where
But the
marijuana
homeless
is legal,
wouldn't be able to do that.
and you're not allowed to not hire someone because they smoke marijuana.
Right.
So I think
I'm glad
in
I
that
don't have to
case
worry
is
about that.
whatever. But
Oh man, no.
like it's to the point where you're not even really supposed to drug test for it.
Right.
You don't even include it on the panel.
It can pop up.
However,
I can't count it.
I think that you should be able to discriminate for drug use. I think it should all be legal, but I also think it would be within everyone's right to go, I don't really want to hire meth heads.
Right.
So I'm going to test you for meth.
Yep.
As a company, we don't allow you to use it.
Mm-hmm.
If you go out every once in a while and you want to do it on the weekend,
Right.
that's, you take that risk.
That's bad.
Yep.
But
That's bad, man.
But I think you should have the right to do it if
Yep.
you want to. And it's crazy coming
We
from me, who would
agree.
borderline be
Like,
We
straight edge.
agree
Back.
to disagree.
Yeah.
All right. I
We all do.
yeah, we gotta agree to disagree on that one.
I totally
Man.
agree. I don't disagree. It's,
People are going to
Good
work and then they mess somebody else up and they fucking hurt somebody. and
I'm not
just-
saying it's a free for all. Like you still have
it would
consequence.
become a
Right.
free for all.
You still have consequence, the same as if you
Yeah.
kill someone drunk driving.
Everybody would fucking go free for all on it.
I don't think you would have everyone doing
how
it.
would they could try, but it's not gonna happen.
But what if they hurt
It
each
wouldn't
other,
have-
you know what I mean? They would hurt, like if somebody hurt somebody else at a work environment. There's fucking plenty of
Well,
different
right,
things
but
that
you're not
can
going to be
happen
able,
anybody.
like, you'll have a chance of it
somebody else.
happening.
There's a,
But
yeah.
again, like, that's why you can discriminate for it.
Right.
But,
We're still not on, right?
yeah, we're on.
Oh, are we? All right.
Yeah, why not?
Yeah, right?
But no, I just think, the logistics of it have to be worked out. It's not like I've got a plan,
Right.
but I just think that if you want to do something, it's the land of the free.
Amen. That's what they say.
People are fighting
Yeah.
for your freedom to do heroin, okay?
All right.
Yeah. That's not cool. No.
But
I mean,
again,
if anybody
it
wants to
shouldn't be
do that,
laced with
then I guess
fentanyl.
that's
Exactly. That's
all
what
right
needs
with
to be
them.
regulated.
they're a human being as their self, as a person. But
And
I mean, to be able to do that and then have people driving on the roads, going to work environments.
What's
have
the difference from
potential-
right
well,
now.
hold on,
Or
because I have my medical card, and if I get pulled over right now, I can get a DUI because it's in my system.
Yeah.
I'm not even stoned, but
Right, but that's
I get a
telling
DUI because it's in my
everybody
system
it's
if they take me for a
okay
drug
then.
test. I could have smoked 3 days ago,
But
Well,
it's
it's not.
It's
and I
not.
still
It's
get
same
trouble
as
for it. I still
same
have
as drunk driving.
consequence. I still
That's
have
not
a
okay
consequence.
either. That's not okay
Right.
either.
Right.
And
I
I
know.
have a medical card, but I still get in trouble
But what's the difference
if I drive.
from right now if someone shoots up and drives down the road versus it's legal and it's legal to do it but not illegal or not legal to drive
Right.
high.
I get what you're saying.
I don't think there's any difference.
There's not.
I guess there won't be any difference.
I think
but
the
telling the
chances
whole
of getting
country
to there,
that would be okay. Then
I think the chances of getting to the hard drugs is less at that point because it's not like you're going to be strong-armed by the underground system and the black market that, hey, I broke my leg. I started taking pain pills because my leg was in a lot of pain. And then my doctor kept prescribing them for the next 4 years and then cut me off hard because I've been on them for too long.
yeah,
And then where do you get them? You start buying them off the dealer.
I guess that would be no different.
But
Yeah.
But then you're like, man, I'm doing all these, and the dealer's gonna go, well, hey, this is a lot cheaper, and it's the same thing, just in
Just higher.
higher concentration.
Yeah.
And there you go. And no one's gonna push you that way.
Yeah. Makes
Still
total
not
sense.
right. that's.
Ain't
I
nothing
mean,
right in this world.
I know,
Mm-hmm.
but I wouldn't personally do it.
I wouldn't personally do it either.
No.
That would probably be
does.
the smarts to someone, and then the myths to whether they wanted to take that road or not. If we all got offered that,
I also
at that
don't
point.
think for
I think a
1
lot less
minute,
people would not take it.
I don't
That's a
think
good thing.
I don't think for 1 minute that whether it's legal or not makes any difference if someone's gonna choose to use it.
Yeah.
That's true.
And if they can at least get
If they're gonna
something,
want to, they're just gonna.
if you could at least get something that's regulated, and you know that you're not gonna die from taking this just because someone laced it with something, they have that right.
Right.
That's where I stand on it because we've all lost too many friends to fentanyl.
Are you looking at
Too young. Won't be doing nothing. Ever. It's good advice.
Yeah. Everything in moderation. Don't listen to me.
Nothing
The
ever.
beautiful plan of Mary Jane is
Yeah.
not a bad thing.
Yep, that's all right for it.
It's medicine.
Oh,
No,
I
and
agree.
you wouldn't see me using it anyway.
Right. That's a good thing.
So my opinion on it, I feel like is kind of garbage anyway because I don't use.
Right.
But maybe that's why my opinion's valid too. I don't know.
Yeah.
You know,
I like
it's tough when you hear a drug user advocating for legal drugs. You're like, oh yeah, I bet you'd like that.
Yeah, I
Right,
bet
right.
that would be okay.
Yeah.
You know,
So
I'm sure that would suit you in the end. You know.
right. But I've got nothing at stake other than
Right.
that we've all lost too many people
Way too
to
many.
Yeah.
unregulated
I
use.
feel like every year it gets worse. You know?
So that's my hot take on that. Again, how you go through logistics of making that real, I don't think you'll ever get there.
No.
It's how hard has it been with marijuana
A long time.
to get it legal
Where it
at
is,
all?
where
And
it
it's
is.
not even where it's legal. It's not legal because it's not legal federally.
And what, 30 years have been trying since what, 70s, 60s, 60s, 70s, man. Everybody's always wanted it.
Well, it didn't used to be illegal.
Anybody in between that's not wanted it's deeply wanted it inside themselves. They just don't realize it. They're just like, all right, that's just a normal thing.
Well, but who's
You
been
know?
advocating for it along the same lines as my comment just was? Only people that smoked it were advocating for
Right.
it.
Right.
Oh yeah, who's gonna listen
Right.
to them?
Yeah.
It's true.
It's not that bad, man.
not, not when God put it here and it's not made by man. It's not that
Nothing's
bad,
truly made by man. Even if it's
Well,
a
when you got to put it
chemical,
together.
it's still all here. He gave you the ingredients.
We put it together.
Yeah.
The ingredients were there, but we put it together.
You still have to
With different
process
things.
everything.
Exactly. That's
Even
what I'm
your
saying. Like,
marijuana.
if we didn't, you're right.
You gotta
Well, you just
process
got-
it, you gotta
just
dry
gotta,
it, you
you
gotta
know.
grind it.
Spray it. I don't know.
I'd say you just gotta hang it up to dry and just go at it in one of them old wooden.
If you
what do
plucked
call
it right off the plant
We
and
call them
smoked it,
corn
it's not
co-
gonna do what you want.
Cork pipes. The old cork pipes, the tobacco pipes, old man smoked.
Yeah.
What do you want to eat, woman?
All right. Well, anyway, that was perfect. So we got a little conspiracy theory stuff. We got
The
a
government.
little other
involved,
stuff. We got drugs,
Political.
Covered it all.
Covered it.
and we talked about the Styles for Miles jam.
Yes.
Yeah. Which probably was the best thing out of all of it. I think Styles for Miles is going to just bring a lot of people together, and kids put smiles on kids' face and make them happy.
So you guys should reach out to the Hallahans that do the next gen
Next generation,
Stuff.
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
because they may be able to help you out with some of it too. I mean, they're in Pittsburgh, they're wheel mill,
Right. Yeah.
but
9
They're-
acres, right?
yeah,
Yeah, dude, they make some awesome looking
their dad has helped coordinate a lot of those events and everything and do all that stuff. So he's
seen
an awesome
Brian.
guy.
Brian showed me some
Kids are
pictures
awesome.
of Duke down there.
Yeah. Definitely. Awesome.
Duke was telling me he got what was it, Kareem Williams and who that, Charlie Crump? Was it Charlie Crump? Duke was telling me he got the ride with them guys when he was
Nice.
all with them like down that way. I was like, what? I'm like, that is awesome.
Yeah, it's cool.
Yeah, that is super cool. That's awesome.
Any parting shots, parting wishes?
I'd like to wish everybody a Merry Christmas. It's almost
Happy
Christmas.
Thanksgiving.
Happy Thanksgiving.
Happy
Uh,
holidays.
It
Happy
will be
holidays.
past Thanksgiving
Line
when
of
this
them.
goes
Happy
up.
Turkey
but we're
Day.
good.
Make sure you guys all eat your huge turkeys and sit down and pass out after turkey dinner. 'Cause that's usually how it happens.
Let's see. The episode that should be going up next will be interesting, but it'll already have come out, so I'll tell you guys about it in a minute. It's funny.
I hope to see everybody at Styles for Miles next year.
Yep.
Yep.
And more.
And more.
And the pig roast.
Yes.
Oh.
I'm excited for that.
Wasn't that my idea? I gave you that idea. I
What?
gave you that idea.
Yeah, but now I have 2 pigs. Ready.
I actually might
Well,
get
So
they're
who really did the work then?
They're not done yet.
See, I actually might have some vacation by then, and if I do have a day or two,
But they're saved for
your
us.
dad's probably
They
going
can
to take
only
the next
toast
day off and just chill down at the trails like I wanted to this year. Intended on camping. I wanted to. That's something I really wanted to do. Was
Yeah,
camp
someone
down
didn't
the
steal my
trails.
tent.
Huh?
Should have someone didn't steal my tent.
Speaking of camping, that's one of my things that I want to get into.
Camping.
Not conventional camping, but one of my goals with Ryder, and you know, right now we have no plans to have a second child. We have no plans for a second child. That's not always in your control.
All right.
So, one of the things that I want to do with him is take him to all the 48 continental U.S. states at a minimum before he graduates high school.
Awesome.
Yeah, that would be badass.
That'd be awesome.
That'd be
But
super
it's a
cool.
task. There's a
Yeah.
lot to get into that.
To be able, and there's different
So-
places. You got like KOAs
But
and
it-
everything like that. You could camp for free. And
But there's a lot of cost if you don't have a camper.
Oh, yeah.
Right.
So I want to get even a cheap used RV
Right.
that's not trash
Yep.
And
So you're talking like one of the Mercedes, like C-Class?
Yeah,
like
one of the ones that you actually drive, yeah.
Yes.
the one with a Velocity bike rack on the back of it, like one of the fold-out ones. Like,
No, I mean, I don't care if it's a pop-up for what it's worth right now. I just need something. But, I got to start.
Well, yeah.
Because there's a lot to do, and he's already 5.
Oh gosh.
yeah.
Yeah.
So,
And right now, his memory, he'll be able to remember it.
yeah, well, even if he doesn't totally remember,
Right,
we
still.
can
It's
keep
like-
a track, we can do whatever.
It's like
He's
her
been to
with her
Florida.
age. There's still so much that we can do.
Mm-hmm.
With just her being her age and Truman being 9, that was my thought. There's so much
You could still
more
do that,
stuff we can do.
You could do the hustle and hit 48. Alaska and Hawaii are a task
Yes.
to add to that,
Mhm.
but maybe.
Yes.
But if you I feel like we could do all the Northeast New England stuff in two
top.
consecutive weekends. You could spend a little bit of time and do something in each state.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Which we've already taken him to Boston and Salem, Massachusetts.
Did you guys ever go to the Freedom Trail? It's right in
No.
Boston. It kind of almost looks woodsy, but it's in the middle of the city and it's down this whole.
Boston was frustrating. Salem was cool.
That's a pretty badass trail. It's not that long, but it's right in the middle of the city and it's called the Freedom Trail.
Nice.
It's pretty sweet.
Yeah, we did. He's been to Ocean City, Maryland. He's been to, obviously, New York, PA. He's lived in PA. He's been to
Adirondacks.
Ohio, Cleveland.
Nice.
He's been to Port St. Lucie, Florida. So,
You guys make it up to Mount Whiteface or anything like that?
mm-mm.
Man, that'd be a sight to see too.
So I feel like the things we're going to be able to do are going to get more and more fun too. And that's you like you said, you got Truman and Jay Lynn, and you can
there's
still
so
do a
many
lot of
more.
this stuff. I definitely want to be doing that stuff
Me
because
too, man.
because
So much more.
some of the things that drove me to move home were, aside from family, the ability to do stuff.
Right.
And that was paired with a couple of friends dying consecutively in Pittsburgh. And it's man, life's kind of too short to not be around your family.
Mm-hmm.
So let's go do that, but it's also too short to not live for experiences as opposed to things. So that's where I'm all right, dude, I love traveling.
Oh, yes.
You need to see these
Long road
things
trips.
because
Yeah, so you get to take
maybe
Ryder and your wife fucking all over the place, man.
yeah,
you
but
guys went up to Maine and
I have not taken him up to Maine yet. Rachel and I have been to Maine.
and what was it? Was it
Thousand
Thousand
Islands or
Islands
something,
and stuff like that?
There's so much to do.
Yeah, there
And-
really is. Even on the East Coast, up north, up that
well,
way.
and even just New York, you could spend weekends
Oh,
hitting
you
all the
can.
different stuff
You can.
and never touch it all.
There's. I'm big in. I love waterfalls. It's just one of my things. You know what I mean? I like BMX. Or hunting. But
Yep.
I absolutely love waterfalls. Just going in the water and hearing it. No matter where it's at. Go to Ithaca Falls.
Yep, Watkins Glen's awesome.
Glen, Ricketts. You know what I mean? Ricketts Glen down in PA. No matter where I'm at, if I'm around that water and I'm hearing it just jet, I'm it's so relaxing and calming. Deep down inside you. It's yep, there's so many more waterfalls that I really, really like to go see. There's definitely some waterfalls up towards the Adirondacks that I'd like to take the kids and Kate at some point. It's got High Fall Gorge, and that's one of the biggest ones I want to go. And I want to go see the internal flame. It's where it's got a natural gas deposit right behind the waterfall, and there's been a single flame burning that's only maybe like a couple inches high for decades. You know, this flame, for man to know, the flame's been burning behind that waterfall and it won't go out. And that's right here in New York, the internal flame.
Mm-hmm.
And there's just so many more things that I'd like to go do. And that comes to the camping side of everything, too. If you're going to go visit waterfalls and go hiking and stuff like that, why wouldn't you pitch a tent and camp and have a good, you know?
Yeah. I just feel like the camper thing allows you to go do more than just wilderness
It
stuff.
does.
Like
You
you want to
can
go to a
travel with
city,
it. Yep.
you can park at a Walmart and pop it out.
True that. You could pop it out anywhere.
And then you pair it with a gym membership so that you can go shower.
Are they stacking?
Yeah, they do.
The queen
Whatever.
won't.
This place is always kind of moving,
Well, it's
even
pretty
on a
nice.
Sunday.
Right.
But no, I'm like excited for that stuff though.
Yeah. Yeah,
And-
I bet, man. He's young. How old is he now?
He turns 5 on Thanksgiving.
Yeah, so there's just, man, when my kids were that young, Andy, there's just so many different things that I still wish I could have did. And that's never going to change for anybody. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
The way you think about it, yeah, I could have did 1,000 things, but I want to do that much more with them, you know.
Yeah.
And that's why, like with Jalen and Truman now, at their age, I'm like, well, they're halfway through. Then we only got their teens. Then they start to grow
Already
up.
in
We
my
can still
teens.
do things, you know, I know you're in your teens. But we can still do things with each other, but things will be a little bit different, you know. But it's like, man, I really want to go camping and do a lot more things with my family.
There's so many. It's funny, right? Because you look at it and you go, man, there's so many things you want to do, and we get 52 weekends a year.
yeah.
You know, it's like, how much do we really want to do them versus how much can we afford?
Can we
to do?
afford
But-
to do them? Yeah.
But if you're not afraid of like noodles and butter and like eating on the cheap for a long trip,
And that's okay. That's definitely okay. To make a trip,
Yeah.
trip, man. Eating on the noodles and butter and stuff like, man, that's okay in my book.
that's what I'm saying. Like it's not the most luxurious, but
But it's great, and then you get to explore a different spot. You actually have to have that memory forever. And pictures. There's pictures that I look back on with Bubba and the kids, like all 3 of them together, and I think now, you know what I mean, not having him around and having just Jalen and Truman, it's like, how many more pictures like can we try to accumulate in memories so we can at least look back and see the other 2 as they progress and get older, and you know, different trips and different fun times like around campfire, anything, just fun pictures, you know, memories.
Yep.
Right?
totally. Well, and I mean, I would assume that your kids want that also, like more memories, because
You want more memories?
Putting you in the spotlight.
no, I appreciate you bringing Truman to the first one and Jalen to this one too, because it
Yeah.
is
That
it's a
boy
big
should have
deal
been
in
here
your
today.
family.
I told him all week since Wednesday, we have Styles for Myles podcast with Andy with GrindWorks on Sunday.
He's a 9-year-old boy.
Don't
He
plan
wanted to go
anything.
trekking.
So I get up to his mom's this morning. He comes running out to the car as I back up in. He says, Dad, I'm going trapping with Uncle. I'm like, we had this planned all week. He's like, I'm going trapping with Uncle. I'm like, all right, man, whatever.
I hope he caught something.
Have a good day, yeah. I hope he did too. He caught a rabbit the other day, him and his uncle.
That's cool.
Both front paws were in the trap of the rabbit. And I thought that's kind of ironic too, because usually it only gets one paw, now it snags both right there, and it's still alive. Usually it's only got one paw, and he's like this, snagging.
Mm-hmm.
Right. What else did he catch? Oh, between just different things. Oh, Truman got his mentored hunter's license this year.
Awesome.
Yep. His uncle got that all together and helped him out with that. So we're going to be able to mentor him, and we ended up. What did he get? What was it? Them fish. Oh yeah. He went. Yeah, he got a lot. He got a lot of fish this last year, but he went salmon fishing for the first time with his uncle with a few weeks back, and he sent me a few pictures up the Pulaski, and he sent me a few pictures, and he's holding a salmon like this big. And he's 9 years old. It was huge.
That's
and
awesome.
he's 9 years old, and I'm like, when I first seen that picture, I was like, holy Truman. I'm like, that's like the picture of a lifetime, man. Like,
Yeah.
you're gonna have that for life, man. I'll make sure you have that picture later on. You'll be 40, 50 years old. I'll go hand them a picture
That's a
like
total bummer about digital photos to me. Like, they're so accessible and easy to take, but most people aren't
Don't print 'em
transferring.
off.
Like, they upload them to Facebook or something,
Yeah.
and then they delete it off their phone.
that. Yep.
And I mean, we've been through this before with MySpace
I got two
and
or
a whole
three.
bunch of stuff that, like,
You
your
could
stuff
just keep
doesn't
buying
exist.
SD cards.
You can,
2 or 3 SD cards, man.
but you
Just
got to be motivated enough to
Yeah.
take the photos off and put them
Yeah.
on
go to
it.
Walmart.
Because
And
it takes time.
click.
Especially
Well, and
depending
you-
on how many you have.
It does take.
And you
time.
take a bunch because it's like,
It
a
takes a lot of time.
before you get a roll of film and you've got, okay, we've only got so many photos, so you're conservative about taking them, and then you send them in and get them developed, but then you have those photos, like physically have those photos.
All right.
We have a bunch of photos, but
Like, I I didn't get a new Facebook or anything like that. That's one of the biggest reasons I didn't get a new Facebook, because like I had a lot of photos of my family and my kids and everything on my old Facebook. But now that I think about it, it's like I can have whatever I want to myself and not post it to the rest of the world.
they're not for everyone
They don't
else.
have to know everything.
They're
and
not for everyone
yeah,
else.
right.
Yeah, I kept my Facebook around for a couple of reasons. One, when we were living in PA,
I would have if they didn't.
the family
compromise.
wanted
I'd
to see
still have
everything.
it.
But the other is that you kind of just need it with running like GrindWorks and stuff.
Yeah.
But man, I wish I didn't have it. Like, there's so many things, the data that they collect that we're giving them
Well, it's nice to be able to post family
and
things
access
and
to.
stuff like that. There's a lot of things that I wish I could have got. Yeah, wish I could have got.
Like,
Well,
I almost guarantee you
Well,
on your
pictures
phone
of
right
all
now,
this together
Facebook has
is a-
access to your microphone.
Oh, yeah.
And that's why when you're talking about something and then you start getting ads for something you've never Googled before, you gave it permission to listen to
to
you.
listen to it.
Right.
Yeah.
Like, read your terms and conditions
That's
of
the way
service.
it is.
And then you see other things like people post on there like, oh, I expressly do not give permission to Facebook to use my photos for anything. And you're like, No, you signed the terms of service.
Yep, this is the way it
You
is.
literally accepted that they can use your photos for advertising.
It'd be nice to
And
be
it's a
able to
passive
go back
way.
in and be able to get them back.
It's a passive way that they use your photos for advertising. It's not like they create an ad with your photo and put text over it and everything. But like when everyone created their Facebook accounts years ago, before we knew what they were doing, it was like, Jordan likes Oreos, and you're like, I like Oreos, click like.
Sure do. Like
Right.
Oreos.
Right. But then now it's like, I get notifications, here's an Oreo ad. And then it'll like put up above it, Jordan with your picture also likes Oreos.
Also likes the Oreos.
Or Jordan
you
likes
like
Oreos.
them?
Would you like to like the page?
Yeah,
And I'm
would you
like,
like to like that
no,
Oreo?
I would not like to.
I remember seeing things like that.
Yeah,
Different-
and it's
different
like all
ads.
passive, and that's how they're using it. But like, it's free because your data is worth more than any amount you could ever pay them.
Right.
Like,
That's okay with them.
how much do we
Why?
care?
Why wouldn't it be?
But how much do we care? Like, at first you don't,
Well,
and
they
then
don't
you
get-
hit a critical point that you're like, I'm kind of tired of like the collective amount of
They
like.
don't give a shit for nothing if they don't have a customer service phone number that people can contact them. They don't care.
We're not the customer.
Right.
We're the product.
We're the product of it.
They're advertisers that are paying for the data that Facebook and Twitter and everything have been able to collect.
What would you like to eat? I'm starving. How about you?
I gave you 3 options. I said pick one.
All right. I'll pick one.
All right. Well, we'll wrap on this. It's been 2 hours we've been chatting.
That's
so
badass.
only about an hour of it was the jam.
Well, that's okay too.
No, that's what I wanted to do that because it's
Yeah.
cool to have other conversation
yes.
and we haven't really.
Yeah.
So I don't have anything else really on this one for
Well, even
my
if you want, you
standpoint.
could split it like in half into 2 different. Like, feel like this was the political side.
Nope.
Yeah.
No, you know,
but-
some people do. They like split them into like 45-minute blocks and then do part 1, part 2, part 3.
Yeah.
But you can also just pause it
Right.
and
That's
it picks
true.
up
You
the
can-
next time you get in the car.
You
So
can
like,
always pause it out.
but people do get reluctant to click on something when it's 2 hours. They're like, oh man, like.
Well, I just want to, before we wrap this up, I just want to say thank you, everybody, for coming out the Styles for Miles that did, and I hope to see more people come out next year, and thank all my sponsors, and I thank you, Andy, with GrindWorks BMX.
Yes.
John Quartz with Works BMX, I would like to thank him for coming down because he hooked up a few t-shirts and had some amazing Works BMX bikes there. There was quite a few of them. When I was looking around, there was actually more of his his frames than you would think, but there was a lot of Works bikes frames, and they're nice. They're super nice bikes. I rode a few of them. I mean, between LJ's and Ben's, and then Tom's, and I rode Deuces at and Brian's Tempest, and they're great bikes. 100%. All right, guys. I hope to see you next year.
Yep. Thanks for
Thank
doing
you.
this, guys. I feel like it's a little bit like I have a platform, and whether it's dwindled over the years or not, I don't really know, because I've been, radio silent for quite a while.
Right.
But I have a platform. I have an ability to promote good things happening in the scene and around. So I feel like it's an obligation at this point
Yeah. Yeah.
to promote what's happening, tell stories, and try to give back.
Yeah, we thank
Amen.
you very
Amen.
much for it. We do. We really appreciate it. It's helps get the word out to everybody too.
And it's tough because I've heard this on other podcasts, but like by the time you're at the age you can start giving back is the time a lot of people get out.
Get out,
Right.
yeah. That's true.
And that's where like, okay, well I didn't get out and I've got a platform, so I'm glad that I could help you guys spread the word a little bit ahead of time too.
Yep.
You know, get people like Andy aware so that he can make a sign and do stuff that he wants to do and everything. So, you know, I look forward to what you guys do for next year and what
I look
I could
forward
possibly
to what
do to
Mama
help.
sets up for next year too. Mama's going main character with all this jam, but I really look forward to and see how next year and the year after and everything like that turns out for all the families.
Okay, so what is the Instagram page to follow?
The
For
Styles
this.
for Myles.
Is that what it is?
Yeah, it's same what I've been on.
Yeah,
Yep.
Styles for my. So
Yeah, I
the,
changed it so it was.
the tag is actually at BMX_gypsy_mama.
Yep.
Yeah.
But yeah, if you search Styles for Myles, that should come up.
Pops right up.
Cool. All right. Thanks, everyone. Calling
Thank
it on
you.
this one. I don't need to self promote mine. Later.